There's this one scene in Jingle All the Way where Sinbad is talking to Arnold about how his life fell apart, and because of this, Arnold envisions his son's future. And yeah, at the time, it was a funny little gag. It helped motivate the story and provided a hilarious visual. But now, the visual isn't so funny anymore, because when this little boy got bigger, well, so did his problems. You get a little bit of life-reflecting art there if you consider Jingle All the Way art.
I'm just a loser with no future.
Here's to you, Dad.
The fates of child actors always seem to be so predetermined. A few get out and make good on their ambitions, but many others unfortunately get wrapped up in drugs or other awful things and fade into oblivion. But the story of Jake Lloyd seems to stand out, tasked with carrying the future of Star Wars on his tiny shoulders. This poor young lad was absolutely shredded by moviegoers and the media alike at just 10 years old, facing bullying at school, hate from Star Wars fans, ridicule from reporters, and battles with his mental health. Jake Lloyd has seen a world like perhaps no child actor has ever seen before or since. Watching this young man's, for lack of a better word, downfall was at times like watching Anakin turn into Darth Vader. But this time, it was real. It wasn't entertaining. It wasn't silly, it wasn't exciting, it was just sad. So, more than 25 years removed from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, what is Jake Lloyd doing now? More importantly, how is Jake Lloyd doing? So yeah, what the f*** happened to Jake Lloyd?
And you know what to me is the coolest thing? Because I'm 49, and to me, there's nothing cooler than playing with yourself as a toy. This is you as a toy. Like when your friends pull a toy out, they're playing with you.
Yeah, no, well, that's, they usually throw them in stacks and start burning them, but I don't mind.
Your friends do that, put like an M80 on your head and blow them up. No, you don't do that, it's terrible.
Actually, they do worse.
But to truly understand what the f*** happened to Jake Lloyd, we must begin at the beginning, and the beginning began when he was born, on his birthday, 1989, Colorado. Jake Lloyd and his family soon found their way to Hollywood, and after a supporting role in a film called Unhook the Stars, 2 episodes on ER, and a handful of appearances on The Pretender, it was now turbo time for young Lloyd, earning his breakout part in Jingle All the Way, playing son to Arnold Schwarzenegger, who desperately wants a Turbo Man action figure. Accessory sold separately, batteries not included. This little guy was very likable in terms of child actors. He was believable and played nicely off of this action hero.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too, Jamie. I love you.
And in that same year, there was a TV movie called Apollo 11 that featured Jake. And so with these performances on his resume, he was able to garner enough attention to lead to his true breakout role. The role of a lifetime, the role so big you can't play any roles after it ever again. And as you know, this role came by way of a galaxy far, far away.
I'm a person, and my name is Anakin.
When George Lucas announced that he was directing another Star Wars trilogy, a prequel that focused on the evolution of Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader, boy howdy, let me tell you, the fan base absolutely exploded with excitement. We frickin' went insane with speculation. We all knew that these were going to be the greatest films ever made. But it all depended on who was gonna play Anakin, beating out over 3,000 other kids, including Haley Joel Osment. Don't worry, he'd land Sixth Sense instead. And Justin Burfield, but don't worry, he would land Malcolm in the Middle later. And Cameron Finley, but don't worry, he would land Leave It to Beaver later. But the ultimate Jedi champion would end up being Jake Lloyd, who was cast because of his sheer enthusiasm and curiosity. Because when I think Darth Vader, I think sheer enthusiasm and curiosity.
It's working! It's working!
But there would be no celebration for Lloyd. he was dubbed by the media and fans as, quote, Mannequin Skywalker. When The Phantom Menace kind of disappointed many people, much of the blame could have been put onto George Lucas's stilted dialogue. But so much hate was directed at Jake Lloyd, who was only 10 years old at the time. Lloyd's mother did her best to keep her son shielded from industry hate. And remember, this was the late 90s, so the internet was just starting to hit everyone's homes. But yeah, Star Wars fans, they can be vicious, and their hate can be so strong that, yeah, they don't even need the World Wide Web. But it was really the children around him, his classmates, that did the most damage. These children must have been confused that a movie star was walking the hallways of their school, and they must have been jealous too. So Jake Lloyd would face lots of teasing at school. As he remembered, quote,
"Other children were really mean to me. They would make the sound of a lightsaber every time they saw me. It was totally mad. My entire school life was really a living hell."
But Lloyd, he eventually made it through high school. But that's when he started seeing true demons. The real dark side of reality. And Lloyd started talking about realities. He didn't know if he was in this reality or a different reality. This, coupled with hallucinations, pointed towards an eventual bipolar disorder, and he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. And on top of this, he also has a symptom called anasanosha, which causes a lack of insight into his illness.
Have you still got all the paraphernalia, your little figurines? Have you kept all the merchandise?
No.
You shunned it a bit?
No. I just didn't keep the merchandise.
And what about with the ladies? Do you get recognised a lot? Has it helped being the young Anakin?
I don't think pulling the Force card would be a really good idea with the ladies.
But it wasn't all hate for Mr. Jake Lloyd. He did get a lot of support from the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards, the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films, and the Young Artist Awards, where he actually won Best Performance in a Feature Film for someone in his age group. But Lloyd would end up getting 2 Razzie nominations. At the time, it wasn't that controversial to pick on a kid. They have since only recently put an age minimum of 18 for actors at the Razzies. So whether it was hard to defend Jake Lloyd or easy to rip him apart, or a combination of both, his career and his mental state were plummeting. Other than his mother, director Ron Howard actually came out and defended Jake Lloyd right away, penning a letter to Newsweek after they tore into the young actor. Ron Howard said,
"The pot shot at 9-year-old Jake Lloyd was downright irresponsible. I have seen a cut of the film, and in my opinion, Jake Lloyd is terrific in the film, which, by the way, is truly amazing. I assure you that 9-year-old Jake is quite capable of reading, understanding, and feeling the full humiliation of a piece like that."
Stupid Newsweek. Later, Luke Skywalker would come to the aid of Anakin when Mark Hamill would say,
"I'm still angry by the way they treated Jake Lloyd. He was only 10 years old, that boy, and he did exactly what George wanted him to do. Believe me, I understand clunky dialogue."
I couldn't believe some of the things they wrote about the prequels, you know? I mean, but really, beyond, I didn't like it. You ruined my childhood, and I'm still angry about the way they treated Jake Lloyd.
So then it was time for Jake Lloyd to make his way to college, and he was going to study film and psychology, which is very appropriate for him, at Columbia College, Chicago, although he did not finish. He planned to direct a music video for Mallory Lowe, which would star Daniel Logan, who played young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones, and he even planned a documentary on Tibetan monks. Unfortunately, none of these film projects ever came to be.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
But Star Wars and Jingle All the Way, they weren't the only things Jake Lloyd did. There was something called Madison, where he plays the son of Jim Caviezel. But yeah, right after that, Jake Lloyd retired from acting. Not because of Star Wars, but because his family was relocating. And at one time, it seemed like Jake Lloyd had sworn off Star Wars, because there is proof that once he refused to say the name Anakin Skywalker during an interview at a comic convention thing.
Jake Lloyd, aka Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, I'm sorry.
Yet he claims he still appreciates all the fans. In recent years, he said, quote,
"The experience I've had with the fans is immediately therapeutic. Right now, it's still therapeutic. It's helpful for people, and healthy. It isn't something I'd shy away from."
He too watches Ahsoka, so no, Jake Lloyd does not hate Star Wars, the way that we almost want him to. It's just another rumor that's easy to slap onto his reputation.
It was obviously a big part of your life, which is why I'm asking.
Yeah?
But it seems like you're not real happy about being asked about it.
No, I'm plenty happy being asked about it. It just seems that I'm just trying to ascertain the real meaning of your questions and make sure I give you the best interview possible.
So I get some pretty crazy questions, and I get a lot of people asking me a lot of random stuff. Most people just want to say hi and hang out for a bit and sign an autograph, get an autograph signed, and we'll just talk and chat and have a good time, and that's all good. So
much for joining us.
No problem, thank you.
All right, take care. And again, Awesome Con runs today until 7 p.m. and again tomorrow from 10 to 5.
But his genuine troubles cannot be ignored, like his 2015 arrest for reckless driving and failing to pull over for police officers during what turned out to be a high-speed chase. I'm sure there's a pod racing joke in there somewhere, I just don't feel like telling it right now. And weeks before, the Indianapolis Metro Police Department responded to what they called an assault against his mother, although his mother did not press charges and maintained that he is not a violent person. She hoped that her son would seek treatment in a mental health facility, but instead, he served 10 months in jail. Only later did he seek help. In 2020, a couple of years after another break following the sudden death of his younger sister, his mother said that he was showing progress and that he had been treated in a mental health facility for years. By 2023, there was another dangerous incident involving his mother, this time turning off the car which she was driving in the middle of a 3-lane road. Unlike previous incidents, this time he was sent to a mental health facility. Around the time, his mother noted his progress. Quote,
"He is relating to people better and becoming a little bit more social, which is really nice. It's kind of like having more of the old Jake back, because he has always been incredibly social until he became schizophrenic."
In 2025, Jake Lloyd finished an 18-month stay, saying that he felt, quote,
"pretty good, considering these 20 years of time that have come to an end. I can now accept taking on continued treatment and therapy and my meds. Everyone's been very supportive."
So yeah, maybe instead of a phantom menace, now Jake Lloyd can be looked at as a new hope. And here's hoping that the support and the progress continues. So Jake, we are always thinking about you, we're rooting for you, we are praying for you. Because thanks to you, me, and all my friends who love Star Wars, we got to have a bit of that magic. You know, we could feel the Force through cinema, and we could kind of see ourselves in you. So yeah, it was especially hard to see that you were dealing with hard times, and we just want you to know that we love you and that we only want the best for you. Like I said, you have given us some great movies. Like, I still watch Jingle All the Way every Christmas. So all we can say is thank you, and we only want the best for you. So yeah, now modern takes on Jake Lloyd and the Phantom Menace are more forgiving than they were, back in 1999, the 1900s. Now there is a genuine appreciation for Jake Lloyd. Not just because of what the media and the toxic fans put him through, but because of his contributions to the Star Wars saga as a whole. And just like how many people have come around to appreciating Jake and the prequels, Jake is also starting to be able to look back and appreciate the good parts about his life. And he, like many of us, even has plans for his own little Star Wars celebration on May the 4th. And we here at JoBlo would totally love to party with you, Jake. Just give us a call. We'll be there May the 4th. That's right, we'll be there telling everybody that nobody, not nobody, should give a fuck about what the fuck happened to Jake Lloyd, because he's doing just fine. His midi-chlorians are off the scale in a good way. This Golden Globe-nominated Jedi is a dedicated actor who gives his mind, body, and soul to every performance. Hayden Chritensen was gifted or cursed with probably the most challenging role of all time, with expectations that stretched to a galaxy far, far away. But he also made some waves as a dramatic actor in smaller movies that don't have lightsabers or spaceships. There is so much more to this man than just whining in front of green screens. Hayden has actually tackled many interesting roles. Roles that should have made him the biggest star on the planet, but they didn't. Some fanboys really love him and some fanboys really hate him. But that's okay. In fact, that's what makes this man so interesting. Over the years, he's kind of vanished. You know, like a dead Jedi. And just like a dead Jedi, when you strike down Hayden Chritensen, he becomes more powerful than you can possibly imagine. So let us begin your training in the career of Hayden Chritensen, so that we can take a deep dive into his life as a house. Whatever the fuck that means. In other words, what the fuck happened to Hayden Chritensen?
Excuse me for just a moment.
But to truly understand what the fuck happened to Hayden Chritensen, we must start at the beginning, and the beginning began when he was born on his birthday. 1981, Vancouver, British Columbia. That's in Canada from what I'm told. He got his start at a very young age in commercials, on the television, selling products to the masses. Then he appeared in a soap opera called Family Passions at the age of 12. His big screen debut would come by way of master filmmaker John Carpenter in the vastly underrated classic In the Mouth of Madness with Sam Neill. Look at that little Phantom Menace riding his bike. In 1995, he would take on several roles in several projects such as Love and Betrayal, The Mia Farrow Story, Street Law, Kurt Vonnegut's Harrison Bergeron, and No Greater Love. Then in 1997, he would appear in the popular TV adaptation of Goosebumps in the classic episode Night of the Living Dummy 3. And if you grew up in the 90s, this one gave you nightmares, and still is. But not me, because I'm not scared of nothing.
Help me, please! Help me now! Quick, help me! Help! It was gonna kill me, Honey Patty! It was really gonna kill me!
Alright. 1998 would see him appear in a Kirsten Dunst film, Strike, followed by a thriller called Freefall. In 1999, he would star in a televised anthology series for children called Real Kids, Real Adventures, playing Eli Goodner in an episode called Paralyzed, the Eli Goodner story. He would then appear on another television series that, if you grew up in the 90s, gave you nightmares and still is, Are You Afraid of the Dark? But not me, because I'm not even afraid of the dark. But he would appear in the classic episode, The Tale of Bigfoot Ridge. Then we would see young Hayden Chritensen appear in the very well-received Sofia Coppola masterpiece, The Virgin Suicides. He played one of those boys. He then would appear in a few more television projects, such as the Disney Channel's The Famous Jet Jackson. It's the famous Jet Jackson. followed by the TV movie Trapped in a Purple Haze in the year 2000, the new millennium. And he would have a lead role in the short-lived Fox Family show Higher Ground.
I don't want to talk. Screw it. There's nothing to talk about. It's me or the cops. I'm not going anywhere with anybody. Don't send me home.
But then came the year 2001, when he received unanimous praise for his role in the drama Life as a House, where he plays an angry, whiny teenager. And he's really good at it, so you can kind of see the beginnings of Anakin in Life as a House. But yeah, we can talk about Star Wars later. Let's talk about Life as a House. It deserves to be talked about. Christensen actually improvised the wall punch after finding out that his father is dying. That's a spoiler, kinda. But there was no padding on the wall, so his improvised punch really hurt his hand. And they had to shoot the scene several times from several angles, so he had to keep doing it. And he refused to add padding to the wall. So at the end of the day, his hand was badly injured. Like Anakin. Just saying. He puts his blood, sweat, and tears into his work, and bones, and skin, and everything.
Fuck you!
Hayden Chritensen is a pro, you guys, and that devotion to his craft paid off, as Hayden Chritensen would garner much praise for this performance, even landing several nominations, including Outstanding Performance by a Male in a Supporting Role at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, and Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role at the Golden Globe Awards, if you care about the Golden Globes. So there Hayden was, sitting there at the Golden Globes, surrounded by the Hollywood elite, and he's like, yes, I am now one of you. I'm now part of the council. I'm now a master.
I'll hate you for the rest of my life.
Well, you can't even begin to know how much I hate my father. Think of it as a family tradition.
But yeah, Life as a House, this tear-jerker really jerked out those tears from a lot of people's eye sockets, and they remembered, and everyone was like, this Hayden Chritensen guy, he's the next big thing. He's gonna do things. He's gonna change the universe. But will that be a good thing or a bad thing? Actually, to this day, we still aren't sure.
Are you wearing eye makeup? No.
So yes, now we get to the biggie, the reason why most of us know who Hayden Chritensen is. All of us know who Hayden Chritensen is. The role that many sought after, but only one got. Anakin Skywalker. Over 1,500 young actors auditioned for the role, including people like Paul Walker, Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, and even Leonardo DiCaprio. And it makes you wonder what they would have done with this role and what it would have done to their careers. The casting director said she knew the second that she opened the door and saw Christensen that he was unique and that he was the right man for the job. She said that when they turned on the camera and the audition began, Christensen gave her goosebumps. Hey, he was on Goosebumps. But she couldn't show any enthusiasm on her face as he auditioned because, you know, she's a professional. But when he left the room, casting director Robin Gurland knew that she had found Anakin Skywalker. She even called George Lucas immediately to let him know that young Darth Vader just walked through her doors.
To be honest, I went in with no expectations. I really wasn't thinking that, you know, oh, I really want this part. It was just, wow, you know, that's George Lucas. This is cool.
Lucas said that he saw both good and dark sides in Christensen, and that is why he was ultimately cast. Because they needed someone to play the good in Anakin while slowly turning to the darkness. To ultimately become the ultimate villain of all time. Darth Vader! George Lucas wanted someone with a James Dean edge to him, and Hayden apparently had that. According to Mr. George Lucas, Christensen could not stop making the lightsaber sound when they were filming, you know, bzzz, Lucas then had to stop and say, hey, we'll add that in post. But I'm sure we can all relate, it's almost impossible to act out a lightsaber fight without making that sound. Try it right now, everybody. It's impossible. And say what you want about Hayden Christensen's performance, the man is dedicated like a movie-making beast. He's so good that he does his own stunt work, mostly. Actually, the stunt double was seldom used. Hayden wanted to show that he could do it himself. Hayden did his homework, he did his research, he even studied the speech patterns of James Earl Jones. He was really trying his best, you guys. No! And of course, anything and everything that has been said about the dialogue in the prequels has been said, and bottom line, yeah, it's not that good. But there is a scene where Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman got a chance to improvise. Lucas didn't like the dialogue he wrote for the aggressive negotiation scene, so he was just like, Hayden, Natalie, ad-lib. Whose line is it anyway? Just do that. And that's what you see in the final cut. Many respected psychologists around the world have said that Anakin Skywalker displays the classic characteristics of somebody with borderline personality disorder. And to that I say, well, duh, he's Darth Vader. But he does make a good point about sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
And yeah, it's really hard to get a real true performance when you're just surrounded by the color green. Which is actually why Hayden Christensen's favorite scene was the bar scene, because it was an actual set, and not just, a green screen like the rest of the movie.
Jedi business, go back to your drinks.
So yeah, that movie Life as a House, it gave Christensen a taste of the award season love. But this movie, Star Wars II: Attack of the Clones, showed him the flip side of that love. He would win the Golden Raspberry Award, or the Razzie, that's what the common folk call it, for Worst Supporting Actor, and would be nominated for Worst On-Screen Couple alongside Natalie Portman. The film Star Wars Episode II: Attack of the Clones was a massive hit, pulling in $654 million worldwide off a $115 million budget. However, this was the first Star Wars movie to not be the top-earning film of the year, falling behind Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Spider-Man. Critical consensus of the film said that it was slightly better than the poorly received Phantom Menace. However, most still found the script to be underwritten and the acting was wooden. Many people have labeled Hayden Christensen's performance as soulless, almost brainwashed, like a machine in his tone. But that's kind of exactly the type of person who would grow up to be Darth Vader. So I'm just saying, maybe it's brilliant. I don't know, who am I to say?
I hate them!
In between Star Wars movies, Hayden Christensen would star as a real-life disgraced journalist named Stephen Glass in the film Shattered Glass in 2003. This film right here is proof positive that when Christensen is given some good writing and strong direction, he knocks it out of the park. This film received very strong reviews with near unanimous praise for Hayden's performance. He shattered expectations with Shattered Glass. The film was a limited release though, premiering at several film festivals before being released on 8 screens in New York and Los Angeles, where it ultimately made $3 million.
Okay, I feel really attacked. And you're my editor, you're supposed to support me, and you're taking their word against mine? You're supposed to support me!
Then in 2004, there was a re-release of Return of the Jedi on DVD, and in a controversial move that saw fanboys rise from their basements to express their outrage, Madman movie maker George Lucas decided for the sake of continuity with the prequels, to remove actor Sebastian Shaw and replace him with Hayden Chritensen as the Force Ghost of Anakin in that final scene for Return of the Jedi. So what do you guys think? Was it the right move to throw him in there? Does continuity matter? Does anything matter anymore? Comment your comment in the comments. Then, in 2005, came Star Wars Episode III: Revenge of the Sith. And of course, Hayden was dedicated to the role once again, putting on 24 pounds, eating 6 meals a day. And of course, everybody talks about Anakin's hair in this one, and George Lucas told the hairstylist that Anakin's hair could not look cute. It had to look rugged. What do you guys think? Is that rugged? Is that rugged enough for y'all? Episode 3 was released on Thursday, May 19th, 2005, and still remains the highest Thursday box office gross ever. And this film got the best reviews for the prequel trilogy, with most people thoroughly enjoying the darker tone. But again, there was massive criticism of the dialogue. And many people called Hayden Christensen's performance lackluster. There was no luster, he was lacking the luster, they said. The film would go on to pull $868 million worldwide, becoming the second highest grossing movie of 2005. Once again, falling behind Harry Potter. The Goblet of Fire beat the Star Wars.
Oh, I hate you.
So with that Star Wars fame propelling Hayden Christensen to leading man status, he could do anything he wanted. And what did he want to do? He wanted to do an indie film called Factory Girl, opposite Sienna Miller. It's a biopic about Andy Warhol's muse, Edie Sedgwick. Christensen plays Bob Dylan, but he doesn't really play Bob Dylan. In the movie, he's just called Musician. Sometimes they call him Billy Quinn. The real Bob Dylan actually threatened to sue the producers because the script strongly hints that maybe Bob Dylan may have been responsible for her death. And Bob Dylan didn't think that was cool. So Hayden Christensen is not playing Bob Dylan. He's not there. Speaking of not being there, I actually thought this was a pretty good Bob Dylan performance until I saw the movie I'm Not There. Factory Girl suffered from horrid reviews calling the film empty, yet everyone liked Sienna Miller's performance. The film only made $3.5 million on a $7 million budget. It had potential, but no.
Lady, you don't know shit about shit.
He would then star opposite Jessica Alba in Awake, playing a billionaire who is awake during a heart transplant, only to discover that the surgeon and his wife are planning to murder him. So you see, the title actually serves two purposes. He's awake during the procedure, but he's also awake to the plot to kill him. That's some A+ wordplay there, which I'm awake to. Jared Leto was the original choice, but they couldn't get him, so they got Hayden Christensen. Reception for the film was very poor, with many calling it a very interesting plot that was wasted by poor directing, acting, and editing. Yikes. The film did manage to pull in $32 million, though, which isn't great, but it really isn't that bad.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Come on, man, just swallow it.
Then in 2007, Christensen would re-virginize himself with Virgin Territory. It's a movie. It's a cheesy, direct-to-video, medieval sex comedy. You know, one of those. The film is set during the Black Death because when you think funny, sexy comedy time, you think the bubonic plague, right?
Do you think we should take off his clothes to see if he's broken any bones?
I think we should. Just to be sure.
Christensen's next high-profile film was the teleportation thriller Jumper, reuniting Christensen with the bad motherfucker himself, Samuel L. Jackson. This is one of the few films that actually got permission to film inside the real Roman Colosseum, so that's cool. And Eminem, the hip-hop rapper guy, was the original choice to star in this film, but they couldn't get him, so they got Hayden Christensen! But once the director met with Hayden Christensen, he knew that he was perfect for the part, for the Jumper. Christensen and co-star Rachel Bilson were romantically involved while filming this movie, ultimately having a child together. So the chemistry you see on screen, it's real. The film received pretty bad reviews, with most saying that the action was incoherent and the special effects were lackluster. They lacked the luster they did lack. Actually, there is a very large cult following to this film, and many people have said to give it a second chance. So give it a second chance, you guys. Jumper is actually a good movie. Dare I say it? Yes, I dare. The film would ultimately end up making a little over $225 million off an $85 million budget. So yeah, Jumper. Jump to your nearest Blockbuster and rent it. Christensen would continue his romantic rendezvous with Rachel Bilson in the anthology film New York, I Love You. Christensen, Bilson, and Andy Garcia starred in the segment Steal Your Heart. The film received poor reviews, saying that in an anthology film, you're only as good as your weakest link, and New York, I Love You suffers from an inconsistent tone. You need to keep your tone consistent, you guys. In the United States, this film made $1.5 million, but internationally it made $13 million. Interesting. I don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna say interesting. Christensen would next be seen in the ensemble heist film Takers. This movie's actually kind of cool, and Hayden Christensen wears a really cool hat. Look at that hat. He says he just looks good in it. Critics found the film to have some solid action, but that alone could not overshadow the cliched script. Although Stephen King would disagree with those haters because he listed this movie, Takers, as number 5 on his top films of 2010 of the year. So if you care what Stephen King thinks, he likes this movie. The film pulled in a fairly solid $80 million off a $32 million budget. And I remember when this movie was out and I was like, hey, yeah, maybe Hayden Christensen is gonna have a little interesting comeback here. But that didn't really happen, and his career kind of vanished. Speaking of vanishing, he was in a movie called Vanishing on 7th Street. It's a post-apocalyptic thriller that was originally released on Zune and Xbox Live prior to its theatrical release on 6 screens in the United States, where it made a whopping $22,000. Reviews for the film were split, with most appreciating the subtle approach to the material, while others saying that the film simply could not hold their interest throughout. And holding interests is important when you're a movie. Then Darth Vader got to work with Darth Vader, in a way. Hayden Christensen and James Earl Jones would lend their voice to the NASA-produced IMAX educational and fun sci-fi epic film, Quantum Quest. Hayden Christensen plays like a hippie surfer crocodile in space. You know, because it's educational and fun from NASA. And the only way to watch this movie was at, like, the Kentucky Space Center. But it was released on IMAX theatrically in Asia, if you live in Asia. A lot of people live in Asia.
Come and see Quantum Quest the movie. You'll have a lot of fun, and you'll even learn a few things.
And after a 4-year break, that's right, 4 years, we went 4 years without seeing Hayden Chritensen, he would team up in 2014 with legend Nicolas Cage for the direct-to-video film Outcast, about a young murderous commander during the Crusades. Critics called Christensen's performance lifeless, and the film was a wannabe epic.
Well, Hayden is somebody I've admired for a while. He's also a lovely man. He's a very nice man, and I hope to continue our friendship.
Chritensen would then team up with another Oscar winner who went to the direct-to-video wastelands, Adrian Brody, in American Heist. It's about two brothers who would take on a heist in America. So like an American heist. I get it. The film lost a lot of money, like millions and millions of dollars. So the heist didn't really work.
What the
2015, we would see Christensen pop up in one movie, the Christian drama 90 Minutes in Heaven. And one pesky critic said that a better title would have been 121 Minutes in Purgatory. Ouch. The film cost $5 million to make and made $4.8 million at the box office. Then he went on another hiatus. This one was for 2 years. That's right, we went 2 years without seeing Hayden Christensen in anything. This time he would return again to the direct-to-video bin with Bruce Willis, of all people, in a movie called First Kill. Then in 2018, we would see Christensen in a movie called Little Italy. And it seemed like many critics and many people in the audience didn't really have an appetite for Little Italy. And this is one of those movies that, you know, when you're looking at one of those lists of the worst movies of the year, you would always see this one on those lists during the year of 2018. It's just not good, and movies should be good.
You can take the girl out of Little Italy, but you can't take Little Italy out of the girl.
Then in 2019, Christensen would team up with Harvey Keitel for a limited release of a movie called The Last Man. And when I say limited release, I mean very limited, because this movie made $12,000 at the box office. Many critics called this film very unpleasant from start to finish, with Christensen's performance once again taking a heavy beating by people that just don't understand him.
There's someone out there!
The Last Man.
Anakin Skywalker almost kinda returned in a way. Doesn't he have a voice cameo in Force Awakens or something? Not sure if that really counts, but there was some very intriguing concept art that was developed just in case Anakin decided to return for The Force Awakens for some reason. But of course he did not. Probably for the best, but that is some kind of cool concept art. Let's take a moment to appreciate what almost was and could have been. Wow. So now let us look to the future. 2022. Anno Domini. Hayden Christensen seems to have realized that sometimes you have to lean into what made your career to begin with. And he will be doing that in a big way in the future, 2022 Anno Domini, when he reprises that role that made him a household name in nerdy households. That's right, Hayden Christensen will once again be Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, in the Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi opposite Ewan McGregor. And I'm pretty dang sure that this dang thing is gonna be pretty dang huge. And we're all about to witness a mega comeback for Hayden Christensen. No, not just a comeback. A resurrection. Back to the stars. The Star Wars on the Disney Plus. Christensen was a guy who seemed to just be thrown into the limelight. with the highly sought-after role of the man who would become Darth Vader. And with that came expectations that no actor could meet. But one must look at the roles surrounding those Star Wars to know that Chritensen is a talent worth watching. Whether as a young man coming to grips with his father's impending death, or as a journalist taking down a scandal, Hayden Chritensen can do it all. And he did. And he's still doing it. I will flat out say that some of the criticism Chritensen received for his performance in Star Wars was a bit misplaced. Those films suffered from dialogue that Sir Laurence Olivier, or Sir Anthony Hopkins, or any other sir for that matter would struggle with. So it's not his fault, you guys.
I'm a Jedi. I know I'm better than this.
His casting as Anakin both made his career and ultimately doomed him. But it appears in 2022, Anno Domini, the future, we may finally get to see the version of his Anakin that we've all been waiting for. Not many people get second chances like this, so Hayden, you better not f*** this up, please. I believe in you. I really do. And with that, 20 years later, Hayden Chritensen may finally get the respect that he deserves for playing one of the greatest villains in cinematic history. Hayden did one of the most unthinkable and respectable things ever. He walked away from fame. Enough red carpets and flashing lights for this man. Until that Obi-Wan Kenobi show comes out. And actually, this Jedi right here used his powers for good. After Star Wars, he bought a ranch, turning Darth Vader back into a simple farm boy. And he's just enjoying raising his daughter. So nobody should give a fuck about what the fuck happened to Hayden Chritensen, cause he's doing just fine. Plus, he's like one of the best memes out there on the World Wide Web, so yeah, there's that. Thank you for watching our show. If you like what you see, please subscribe to our JoBlo Videos channel. Tell your friends who like this sort of content, and turn on the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest videos. We're an independent company, and we appreciate all your support. Picture James Earl Jones. I bet you're not even picturing him at all, are you? No, you're hearing him. Sure, we can all envision him, and all the amazing characters he brought to life. But we have to admit, it's his voice that really sticks with us, as he provided the vocals for Darth Vader, Mufasa, Bell Atlantic, and CNN, the most trusted name in news, and so many more. James Earl Jones has continuously provided a baritone of thick molasses that is unforgettable, carrying both command and comfort. Oh yeah, and he's one hell of an actor too. So how did this all happen? How did this man go on to appear in so many great films? And is he still making great films? From stage to screen to practically anywhere, James Earl Jones undoubtedly left his mark. And the industry has certainly shown their loyalty by gifting this man many Lifetime Achievement Awards. 'Cause yes, what a life it has been. So yeah, what's he up to now? What the f*** happened to James Earl Jones? But to truly understand what the f*** happened to James Earl Jones, we must begin at the beginning, and the beginning began when he was born on his birthday in a small Mississippi town in 1931. Although he was the son of a boxer and actor named Robert Earl Jones, he was raised by his grandparents, not even speaking with his father for decades. Growing up, James Earl Jones, as it may be hard to believe, had a stutter. And while he was shy about it, he was urged to read poetry out loud in school, overcoming those obstacles and winning a public speaking contest in high school, and earning a full scholarship to the University of Michigan. He would even dedicate his autobiography to the teacher who pushed him, unlike the real Anakin who did not appreciate his teacher. The arts were not for James Earl Jones, at least to start. He joined the Reserve Officers Training Corps and also intended to study medicine. It was during this era that he switched his major to drama, as he awaited and assumed that he would be drafted into the Korean War, which he would be. Then Mr. Jones would end up working as a stagehand, building sets for a Michigan troupe, later moving to New York to study at the American Theater Wing. By the late 1950s, he had truly adapted to the stage life. And in 1957, he made his Broadway debut, quickly landing his first major role in 1958's Sunrise at Campo Bello. Soon enough, he starred in the groundbreaking The Blacks in 1961, and James Earl Jones would do plenty of Shakespeare, Othello, The Merchant of Venice, and many more. He absolutely loves being on stage, and would often return even when he was a big movie star, you know? You could see him in The Iceman Cometh, Of Mice and Men, Fences, which won him a Best Actor at the Tonys. He was also in On Golden Pond, which got him a Tony nomination as well. And in 2008, from 2009, he was in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, while doing numerous stints in Driving Miss Daisy. I'm assuming he played the driver. And he would keep on keeping on doing his stage thing in 2012 with The Best Man, which he received another Tony nomination. And even as recently as 2016, you could see James Earl Jones on the stage in The Gin Game. He would earn 4 Tony nominations throughout his career, later even getting a theater named after him in New York City. But the screen was calling, and soon enough he landed his first Emmy nomination for an episode of East Side, West Side. There too were episodes in popular TV shows like Dr. Kildare and NYPD. But then James Earl Jones got to work with the legendary Stanley Kubrick, who finally put this great actor on the big screen in 1964's Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. You could also see him in 1967's The Comedians, and there was even an early spot on Sesame Street, well before he was a bona fide star. But in 1970, James Earl Jones earned his first Oscar nomination for the film The Great White Hope, which apparently is not a documentary on Shark Week. It's actually like a really good, really important film. And this performance right here in The Great White Hope, well, you're looking at the second Black Best Actor nominee ever. Quite fitting considering he already won a Tony for this role when it was on the stage. He would also nab a Golden Globe for Most Promising Newcomer. That year, he also gave a truly wild performance in an even wilder movie, The End of the Road. But it was not the end of the road for James Earl Jones's career. 1972 brought another remarkable dramatic performance, playing the first black president of the United States in a movie called The Man. James Earl Jones wasn't really the first black president of the United States, in case you were wondering. That went to Bill Clinton. Then he landed another Golden Globe nomination for Claudine, and gave a powerful yet small effective turn in TV's The K. Then James Earl Jones would dabble in sci-fi for the first time, before going to a galaxy far, far away. You could see him in a movie called The UFO Incident, which is actually a true story about an interracial couple who were abducted by aliens. 1976 saw a movie called The River Niger, and Deadly Hero, as well as the baseball comedy The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. The following year had quite a selection of motion pictures, like playing Balthazar in the miniseries Jesus of Nazareth, and he's probably like the only kind of good thing in Exorcist 2. You could see him playing opposite Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier in A Piece of the Action, and he appeared as Malcolm X in a Muhammad Ali project called The Greatest. And then there was perhaps his greatest character ever. At the time that he had voiced Darth Vader in 1977's Star Wars, James Earl Jones refused to take any form of on-screen credit, not believing that his Darth Vader performance was a true performance. That same went for 1980's The Empire Strikes Back, though this would be adjusted on reissues. And then, after providing a voice to the greatest movie villain ever, you could also hear him in Flight of the Dragon and other animated musicals. James Earl Jones is a great actor. He became, legendary, of course. But unfortunately, it seemed like casting directors started hiring him just because he was a legend. Because of his iconic voice. In films like Judge Dredd, Click, Scary Movie 4. Unfortunately, sometimes there are performances of his that are, parody. There is such a thing as, becoming too iconic. That is with one true cinematic exception. That of Mufasa in 1994's The Lion King. A role that he won strictly because of his domineering voice. And as you know, The Lion King, it's one of the most successful, one of the greatest films ever made, probably the best Disney movie ever made, and if you disagree, shut up. But then, for some stupid reason, they decided to, make a, quote, live-action version of The Lion King, which it's not live-action because they're not live lions, but, whatever. They did the remake thing, and they could have brought back Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane and all those other people, but they didn't. They completely would recast all the voices. They did not need Jonathan Taylor Thomas anymore, but they did bring back James Earl Jones, because, how even dare you even consider recasting him? He is Mufasa. He is Darth Vader. He is Bell Atlantic, and he is the most trusted name and news.
This is CNN.
Hell, this is the guy that they asked to read poems at MLB games. The dude was even hired to read the Bible. That says it all right there. But it actually doesn't say it all. I have more to say about James Earl Jones. Yeah, let's talk about his best films. Of course, there's Star Wars. Yeah, we get it. But he certainly made Conan the Barbarian a hell of a lot more fun, with his chewy, scene-stealing moments. Remember when his face starts to stretch when he becomes that, reptile thing? And what about Coming to America in 1988? Without his commanding turn as Eddie Murphy's father, that movie wouldn't have been as good. And of course, he reprised the role in 2021. Proven that he still gots it. But yeah, the Coming to America sequel, it very well may be his final screen performance. Maybe. I hope it's not. I hope he does more. But it's a wonderful one to retire on if he really is, done. And yeah, could Field of Dreams be as enduring without him? I certainly think not. He brought heart and soul to this movie. Just like he did with The Sandlot. Oh my god, he brought something special to it. Like I said, he brings the heart and soul, turning good movies into greats, and turning great movies into classics.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Don't get us wrong though, Mr. James Earl Jones. He's such a prolific actor that, he's bound to appear in some forgettable trash, like the Bushido Blade, Blood Tide, MST3K fodder City Limits, the ABC dramedy Mom and Me, the absolutely horribly kind of awesome but horrible, but just what the Soul Man movie. He was in a canon flick called Alan Quatermain, but none of these lesser films ruined his reputation, because he was able to find balance with roles that he was, more committed to, like Roots, The Next Generations, and he even played cult leader Jim Jones in a TV movie. There was also the Atlanta child murders, and a true standout turn in a wonderful film called Matawan. And of course, he kicked things up a bit by playing the inspirational coach in The Best of the Best. There was a SAG-nominated role as a minister in Cry, The Beloved Country, and he had a pretty incredible arc on Homicide: Life on the Streets. There was a Coppola collaboration, with Gardens of Stone, a Sundance hit called My Little Girl, and a thankless role in a pointless movie called Three Fugitives. But whatever duds there were, James Earl Jones kept in good graces with the industry, landing a franchise role as Vice Admiral Greer in the Jack Ryan movies. That's right, you could see him in The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, and Clear and Present Danger. All wonderful, top-notch action thriller films. There too would be serious Emmy accolades, becoming the first actor to win 2 in the same year for drama series Gabriel's Fire and miniseries Heat Wave in 1990. But really, aren't we just rounding off movies and TV shows? But yeah, that's what it is, because the dude, he never stopped working, always bringing us interesting projects. There was Sneakers, Summersby, Excessive Force, and of course, Meteor Man. And yeah, like we've said, we love us some James Earl Jones, but such output, the vast majority in recent years, feels like sometimes he's just going through the motions in movies that kind of could have gotten on without him, like Clean Slate, Jefferson in Paris, Under One Roof, A Family Thing, Good Luck. There was a Casper prequel, gang-related, Undercover Angel, The Annihilation of Fish, Finder's Fee. He did another voice in Robots. I guess he was kind of funny in Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins, tried out some drama in Gimme Shelter, there was The Angriest Man in Brooklyn, and 2018's Warning Shot. But yeah, in 2022, James Earl Jones announced that he was officially retiring from voicing Darth Vader. He did have a stint reprising his trademark character on Star Wars Rebels, Rogue One, Rise of Skywalker, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but the dude, he was done. And since his voice has already been replicated using artificial intelligence, I guess he was like, yeah, it's time to go. And is replacing James Earl Jones with AI an insult? To some, yeah, it is. To others, it's just a sign of the times, and we must accept it. But yeah, it doesn't really matter what they do to this Star Wars franchise, or what they do with this great man's voice, because there's nothing they can do to ruin it. His legacy is secure. Nobody's voice will ever make our ears feel this way again. And you know what, James Earl Jones, he doesn't need some big major comeback. He doesn't need one more big blockbuster or, award or anything. The dude's got plenty. He is James Earl Jones, and nobody's gonna take that away from him. He absolutely changed the way actors speak, and he changed the way we listen, bringing fear, inspiration, love, adventure, and comedy to the art of cinema. So nobody should give a f*** about what the f*** happened to James Earl Jones, because he's doing just fine.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.